consistently trickle through, and it's like clearly they just have a lot of money to spend in
Oh,
spreading it.
it's Riot,
I,
You know?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's right.
yeah,
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
So of course they do.
All that.
I saw
And
someone make a joke though about how Riot Games can now call themselves Riot Games plural because they have more than one. Like, which I don't know
Oh,
is
yeah.
true. I know that they make League of Legends. I have no idea what other games they make, if any. But I thought that was it's a good little zinger I saw on Twitter.
There's this there was this fighting game that was like in alpha, and then Riot bought them, and they stopped working on the game, and it's supposedly to work on a League of Legends fighting game. So they will have that at some point, but that has
Yeah.
not been announced, I don't think.
And
There's some other ones as well.
And what did they announce two of at the Game Awards? It was like within the universe of Dota, or no? It was like they're like adventure game spin-offs of one of those massive multiplayer games. I want to say League of
Oh.
Legends.
Not sure.
Anyway,
I'm not sure. Not up
they
to
were
date.
they
on it.
had nothing but like concept art, and it was just like get excited. And I'm like,
Doesn't seeing art get you really excited? I know I just go to museums and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm hyped.
well, museums it would be cool, but this is just like you're gonna play as a character in a world.
I love characters.
Please be excited for 2021 or whenever it comes out. Yeah.
I feel like the worst of that was Todd Howard announcing Elder Scrolls 6. He's just like, "Yep, we're working on it," and then just a million
I
videos.
don't expect anything else for several years.
A million videos of what does this literally one screenshot mean? It's like,
If you look closely at the top corner of the screen, you'll see like red circles on the thumbnail. Yeah.
Big arrows. Yep.
They probably rushed that out that day.
It's gonna be the same thing though as like Overwatch 2. Like they rushed an announcement and now it's just gonna be like silence for a long time because they didn't actually have anything to show and they won't have anything to show for ages.
Oh,
what was prematurely done?
What was the BioWare game? Shit, Anthem. That's it.
Oh, remember Anthem?
Yeah, they're gonna reboot that like Final Fantasy 14 style, maybe, but it's not gonna happen for ages because they got to actually spend a proper development cycle on it. So
yeah,
it took them 2 years to remake Final Fantasy 14. Like,
exactly,
and that was like a full team doing it in alignment with the full team also having to patch the current game to try and fix it so that people didn't just like give up on it completely. So
yeah, long and sordid history. There you go.
Yeah.
Nah, there's too much going on. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a background for this.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, you can be forgiven for the usual one. I reckon it's a little like the grass reminds me a bit of that bit they're in before Castle Oblivion. You know, it's like, come on, guys, it's Pluto. Where's he going?
I'll just make it black because it looks weird with the background as well.
There is black text in it though. That's the problem.
Okay. We'll just make it white.
Okay. Yeah. White'll do.
Or another color. Grey.
No, grey will clash with the axes on the graph that we look at later. It will.
Okay.
Sorry, I just figured it would be transparent. Like,
no, it's very good that you bring this up now. It works out great.
Yeah, there's like one bit of white text that's like a gag, but it's like whatever.
That wasn't sarcasm, by the way.
Sorry?
That wasn't sarcasm, by the way. I know
sometimes
I sound like I'm being sarcastic when I'm not.
No. You're right. No, what'll do?
Yes, I was going to do that, James, but I ran out of time.
Did James think of that too on his own? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sad.
Great minds.
Can you tweet about this? Anyone?
Oh yeah, I can tweet.
Because of the way that I quickly had to set up this 3-camera setup, I cannot alt tab at the moment, and I can't go into Discord either. Furious typing.
Better bloody put the link in before I hit send. That would be good.
Put the linked. in.
The whole. Okay, let's just get stuck into it now. I mean, we can do a little intro if you want, but I do want to talk about the Keyblade / Kai Blade.
They really the weird X symbol key Kai.
Yeah.
They don't explain that in the game
No.
at all.
They
But just
spent a
I
lot of
thought it
time
was
talking
the
about
X
it, but no.
blade. I thought it was the X blade, and
As
then
did I. As someone who didn't pick up Birth by Sleep on PSP, and who did, yeah,
a
I just
grave
saw that and I
error.
was just like, all right, so that's where we're going now. X-Blade.
We have to introduce
Okay.
ourselves.
Yeah.
We do. Okay. The tweet has been sent. Very
Okay.
good.
All right. Sweet, sweet.
Now you have my full undivided attention.
Sweet.
Whose turn is it? I'll just do it. This is Pokemon, but also Kingdom Hearts X and Y. I am Bianca.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Dom. I like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
I don't even know how you type that / what that symbol is.
I don't know what the keyboard shortcut for it is. Yeah, I just Google it. In the same way, like, do you ever like Google for the trademark symbol to put that to copy paste it into a document? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, not into a document. It's usually just as a meme.
Yeah. And you recently rebranded to X and Y, but for tonight it's going to be Kai and Y. You know, it just
Kai
makes,
and Y.
yeah,
Kai and
just
Y.
makes perfect sense.
That sounds like a town on the south coast.
You got
Down
a
to
Kai and Y. Yeah, it's like an RSL somehow.
Kai and Y RSL.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird to think, like, I got through all the HD remix packs and still the Keyblade just looks ridiculous.
Oh,
It doesn't look any more. Yeah, it just doesn't have any more like emotion attached to it for me. It's just like that's where it was in the end. It was in the final battle. It was a.
But they also, like, if you play it from the start, they retcon the fact that there's only one like Keyblade, which is what they imply. Because they're like, sorry, you are the Keyblade wielder.
That's true. Yeah, there's such a man, and we'll get into this, but like there's such a divide between the simplicity of one and just like there's only one Ansem, there's only one Keyblade, there's only one.
Was Kingdom Hearts 1 really that simple though? I was
for the
lost.
first game, yeah. For the first game,
there's still a lot of assumed knowledge, but I think that's still in the more possible. More plausible.
I mean, it helps that like the plots of the movies that they go to, but but by and large, one looks like such a fable by comparison to the rest of the series that follows. So yeah,
it's like in Star Wars with the midichlorians, where like in Kingdom Hearts 1, they had the concepts of darkness and light as just nebulous concepts that aren't really explained, much like the Force, and then as it goes on. They like darkness becomes like a force unto itself, like its own element, like it is a physical thing. So it's the same in Dark Souls as well.
They kind of Kylo Ren it. They just turn it. It's like, well, in some circumstances, darkness can be used for this, and it remains as nebulous as ever. But they just use it in increasingly complicated ways that you just have to just roll with. And unfortunately, it doesn't have the emotional weight to quite compel you to want to roll with it in most cases. So
yeah.
It's just strange. And yet they find emotional weight in other areas. But anyway, not to go off on a tangent.
Oh, well, that's what this episode is about. There is
we haven't
yeah, Dom actually has...
There is a particular point, like a particular thing to hang our hat on for this particular episode.
Yeah.
And when you rebranded to X and Y, I thought, okay, baby, let's go. Kingdom Hearts episode. Let's do it now. And almost, with like complete serendipity, I find out, and if you could go to the next slide, I think it'll make it clear. Rumors state, very authoritative rumors state, that there's going to be a Disney Plus series based on Kingdom Hearts. As those tweets from pretty seasoned film journalists say, it's going to be. If I could just bring it up on mine, and then I can actually read it. So it's going to be a series, not a movie. It's animated in CG. Disney voice actors are expected to reprise their roles. Disney have tried several times to make it themselves, especially in light of the first game taking off. Didn't really work out. This time they asked Square Enix to make a pilot in Unreal Engine. So it looked like Kingdom Hearts 3, basically, and man, one day we're going to see that pilot and we're going to just marvel at it, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And they're currently casting. So,
So
and like I
as it
said,
should be.
all these three people have backed it up. So I think it's pretty safe to assume they're working on it. Whether it'll reach the finish line or not, that remains to be seen.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who will watch this? Who will watch this show? Clearly, they think people will watch this show. Otherwise, they wouldn't make
Absolutely.
it.
It's
No, for sure.
I think it's only Kingdom Hearts fans, and that I think that's a good point.
Yeah, because will every Kingdom Hearts fan want to watch it though?
It's a extremely limited market. Yeah, I think you've just like hit on an extremely important point. Like,
Put me in charge of Disney Plus.
Well, why did Kingdom Hearts 1 take off? That's the thing that excites me the most. Is that it's just, yes, Kingdom Hearts has this justified reputation for being obscenely complicated and up itself and full of lore that just has nothing to do with the initial appeal of just going to Disney worlds and encountering Final Fantasy characters along the way. But like now that the Dark Seeker saga is done, I think that's the official name for all the Xehanort Ansem stuff that concerns Sora. Now that that's more or less done, they've got a mainline trilogy and all these spin-offs sort of brushed away. Now they can sort of they can just come at it with fresh eyes and readapt it. And that's something that's already been done a couple of times on other streaming services. I feel like Witcher on Netflix and the new Castlevania show as well. They all do a really good job of just adapting what are really huge, ornate mythologies into pretty simple, straightforward, easy to follow narratives, like serial narratives. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts could do the exact same thing. The other thing that gives me heart about it is that, sorry, did not intend for that one. If you go to the next slide, the attempt that they've made already to do it, which was mentioned in these rumored tweets, sounds actually pretty all right. Like the guy that got to do it was a guy called Seth Kearsley. Now his only known feature project is a movie called Eight Crazy Nights starring Adam Sandler, a 2D animated movie starring Adam Sandler, which doesn't bode well. But
sounds good.
It's the next Uncut Gems.
It is. Exactly. It was the Uncut Gem.
The Uncut Gems of its day, yes. But he has been on a bunch of Kingdom Hearts fan podcasts in light of, I think at some point he posted the animatics on Twitter and people were like, "Oh my god, can you tell us more? What were you going to make out of this?" And he's been on Kingdom Hearts podcast to talk about it. If anyone's interested, I think the best one he's done is the Kingdom Hearts Insider podcast. Kingdom Hearts Insider being like the fan site that I was watching with intense concentration for any magazine scans to do with Kingdom Hearts 2 back in 2004. So they've been around a long time and they're really well sort of read up and know how to contextualize everything he's talking about. So they have an yeah, it's a tough task, but they do it. So he talked about. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, can I just say, I just had like such a nice feeling of nostalgia when you were talking about looking for magazine scans back in 2004.
Yeah, Famitsu, right? Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Famitsu also, they gave it like Kingdom Hearts 2 a 39 out of 40, which is like insane for them.
I think that's warranted. It's a pretty fucking good game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. I say like completely undercutting my fascination with it. But like this Seth Kearsley guy, he went to Cal Arts. He's rubbed shoulders with Pete Docter, who directed Inside Out and Monsters Inc. And Gendy Tartakovsky, who's best known for Samurai Jack. Just people, like really good animators, the best American animators you could get. And he talks about his ideas for the show, how at the time Cowboy Bebop was airing, and he thought, well, Spike and the gang hanging out on the ship, that could be like Sora, Donald, and Goofy on their gummy ship. They're just sort of chatting and like in between worlds, just kind of kicking back and relating to each other like interesting characters.
But what about Chip and Dale? That's my.
Sorry.
I say, what about Chip and Dale? We cannot forget.
They are the iron of the show, let's say.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Doing their own adventures. And he had other ideas like they go to Aladdin's world and one step ahead, the opening number from Aladdin is going on in the background while they're doing other stuff. So it's like concurrent with the movies in a cool way. And and like he just has a good head about it, and it just makes me think like there's absolutely a good way to like simplify and adapt the Kingdom Hearts story uh, to a series that's just genuinely entertaining to anyone who's just who is only hooked by the appeal of a Disney crossover and nothing else. Um, yeah, so honestly, I just think it's cool, and I wondered like what the best way to discuss this would be. And if you go to the next slide,
Mm.
I will show you.
I have a few. I have a few points to bring up, if you don't mind, for discussion.
Oh yeah,
We don't have to.
yeah.
We don't have to rush this. We can take our time and have a chat because I think I was just thinking about the way to do it as a TV show, like that gummy ship angle. It's, I think you could do two really cool concepts. One of them would be like make it like a Star Trek, basically.
Oh
Like
yeah,
every episode they go to a different world, right? But that would be so hard to do because every episode being a different Disney property. You could do that as a show, but yeah, damn, that would take a
the other
hell of
thing.
a last time.
The other thing about Star Trek, so much of it is carried by just the Enterprise or the space or the Deep Space Nine space station, wherever they usually are, their base of operations is really complicated and interesting in and of itself. So
Yeah.
even if they don't go to a new world or a new planet or visit somebody, that they can just have internal problems that are just as fascinating. And
Maybe
obviously,
more
Gummy
like
Ship's gonna do-
Futurama as well.
Yeah, yeah, maybe
Which
that
is
too.
like aping off Star Trek, but
Yeah. James says a very big gummy ship, and it's like, true, you can build really big gummy ships.
Big gummy ship. A big gummy ship would have a lot of interesting parts.
and they have
Surely.
to look like shit too,
Yes.
like
Does
old
have
gummy
to-
ships.
And
Too.
massive cute geometric shapes everywhere. It's like,
The other way is just do that same thing, but make it more like a Saturday morning cartoon. But it's like just like 3 other Disney properties, mix it up, and if you want to do something special, every now and then introduce another one.
yeah, that's kind of apparent. According to Seth, that's why they kind of rejected it the first time. It's just like it felt too much like installments of the animated series that they were going to, like Aladdin and Hercules and stuff like that, without it necessarily adapting enough of the Kingdom Hearts story as it existed then. Because again, the first game was the only thing that had come out at that point.
Yeah. And also, they wouldn't want to run into a trap where they just introduce like Disney worlds and then just retell the same story literally scene for scene. That would be a big mistake for them to do.
Yeah. And he says that too. He doesn't want a retelling. He wants to like kind of energize.
Yeah.
Again, like
let's hope that never happens.
Yeah, never has and never will.
Never will. I'm trying to lay on mounds of irony here. The last thing I really want to bring up before we get into the meat and potatoes of this presentation is that they're going to make this show in Unreal Engine 4, I assume.
Is 4
they
the
made the
new
pilot.
one? Is 4 the one that you can use now, or that they showed the trailer for?
Oh wait, no, sorry, it would be 3, right?
Well, 4
I
is
can't
the
keep track
current
of
one.
it.
5 is what they just revealed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
with
okay,
Phil,
yeah,
Magic.
yeah.
I assume it would be the Unreal Engine they had handy for 3.
Yeah,
So
I hate how Kingdom Hearts 3 looks.
It would look shit as a series. I agree, and so I think that's more like proof of concept rather than like the technology that they're going to end up using. I feel like.
So I don't know a lot about making movies. I don't know what engines they use to animate stuff. What the Pixar engine.
It is a weird. This is a weird thing to apply. Like a game engine includes mechanics, not just visuals.
Yeah,
so
not
it's
just
like
rendering.
it's a bit. So, yeah, okay.
But I feel like at least in Kingdom Hearts 3, some things looked much better than others. I didn't like how the Frozen world looked specifically. I don't know if it was just too much white and there wasn't enough shadows.
Blue.
Too much blue, sorry.
Yeah,
that's how fondly I remember that.
In different places.
Yeah, but I remember being very impressed by how some specific environments looked. So hopefully they don't they just make the good environments so it gets greenlit and everything looks great.
I
remember Elsa's snow monster joining the party and all of my criticisms just fading away at that point. That's what I remember.
He was good. He was a good party member.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm good.
I did want Elsa in my party there. I was actually really looking forward to that. I was like, she's going to have super good like Blizzagas and stuff.
No, you get Snow Monster Man.
Yeah, his name I can't remember.
Yeah.
And neither can either of you.
No.
Don't might be able
That's
to.
true. True.
Okay.
I can't remember what it said on the menu.
I don't even know if it's from Frozen or not because I never saw the movie, but I don't need to now because I got the gist of it.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify too. I don't think Unreal Engine looks bad. I just think the art style of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 is unique, and they
Yeah, no, that's fair.
ruined it. Because I really like the look of those games, and they look timeless. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to age not well.
It's like Age of Empires 2 and Age of Mythology. Age of Empires 2 still holds up. It still holds up. Age of Mythology, and Mitch, you can't hear me because you're at work, and he would be devastated if he heard me say this. Age of Mythology looks like shit today. I would never play it. Age of Empires 2 got a definitive edition, got a remastered edition, had all this stuff. People still play it. No one plays Age of Mythology because it looks like crap.
Yeah.
I had to get that off my chest. This isn't related to Kingdom Hearts.
No, it's very valid. Age of Empires. There's something very I'm not sure what the right word is, but something about Age of Empires and those old PC games. There's a certain like.
It's almost like quaint, but not really.
Well, I don't want to say like, it's like brutalist. Is that the style of architecture?
That is a style of architecture.
Yeah, like brutalist, and that's not entirely what I mean.
The equivalent of brutalist. Okay.
Like it's very. I don't know how to put it.
They've got it. They do have a feel to them. The UIs of old games.
Yeah.
All have a vibe and a feel to them.
There's a certain quality to them that's very like, I can't remember what the word I'm looking for is, but it just gets to the point. There aren't too many thrills and stuff.
It's sufficient. It's efficient.
Yeah.
No one's talking brutalism here. It's fair. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, efficient. I can't believe I forgot that word. I'm a fucking idiot.
To work in tech, get your tech brain on. Efficiencies, synergies, business.
Yeah. And what James is saying, it looks too Unreal Engine-y. That's exactly what I wanted to say, and I wasn't sure if that would make sense if I said
that's fair to say. Yeah, there is a way of doing Unreal Engine games that just makes them like even Spyro somehow, the Reignited trilogy, just the way things blur and stuff. It just felt a little too. Yeah.
There's some games you open it up and you're like, hello Unreal Engine, like it just hits you very hard in the face.
But I really want to believe Disney will find a way to make it look more distinct.
Yeah.
So.
I can't imagine if they have the chance to make I'll bring on the point. If Disney have the chance to make a series that they'll have like control over, I assume, they wouldn't just be like, yeah, just do it in Unreal Engine 3. I'm sure it's fine. Like, you know how picky they are over their properties. Like,
for them to go all out and get a bunch of MCU brand Marvel shows coming like years away, made by Kevin Feige and the actual people, not like some Netflix crew that make it look like dog shit. Like for them to do that and then to just half-ass Kingdom Hearts, I can't see that happening. You know, I haven't gone through like Mandalorian and Disney Plus offerings, but I like to think they're like laboring on it, you know?
Yeah,
and trying to make it distinct. And,
there's effort being put into. I've only watched Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I can't speak for anything else, but there's definitely effort put into it. That's for sure.
I only watched 2 episodes of Mandalorian and Frozen. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed Frozen more.
Yeah,
right.
Actually, that's
I thought you were saying you saw 2 episodes of Frozen as well, and I'm like, there's a series now. Are we back in the 90s? Is Aladdin and Hercules and now Frozen getting a series?
Please.
Okay, I know that we want to move on. I have to. We talked about Aladdin back in the 90s. I've got something to say. And I don't know if this was common for lots of Disney properties or this was just a thing that I happened upon. Like direct to VHS, not direct to DVD, direct to VHS movies, but not really. They weren't movies, but they were longer than episodes. I don't know really what they were. They were just kind of like big episodes, but there was stuff happening in them. And the one that I remember was when this plant man kidnapped Jasmine. I don't really know what else to say. He could grow things from his fingertips like a plant man.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Arabian Nights.
Was that a common thing? Did lots of Disney properties get that, or was this
like
just
a 2-episode arc that they?
I remember a Lion King.
VHS. Sure, yeah, I get, like, I believe it. I don't know it intimately or anything, but yeah.
was just
I just
curious.
know also Belle's Magical World, one of the direct-to-video sequels of Beauty and the Beast, is basically they tried to do a series for Beauty and the Beast. It didn't work out, so they just packaged the 3 episodes they made into a movie format, and that's
Fuck yeah.
Belle's Magical World. Same with Atlantis: Milo's Return. They just
Oh,
did that. They did that
Atlantis
at
was
least a couple of
such a good
times.
movie.
Atlantis in Disney Kingdom Hearts just should have happened.
They should have done it. Cowards.
It didn't.
Fucking cowards. Tetsuya Nomura.
We'll get the
Anyway.
opportunity to lay the boot in Nomura later.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll stop distracting us.
No, it's okay. Hey, look, this episode's been a long time coming. And then we got to get it out there. But the idea I had for the premise for the episode that I hit upon is I don't know if either of you remember much about dot point geometry back in high school, but I think that's the name for it. But basically, you got two axes, right? In this instance, you've got on the horizontal axis, you've got the likelihood of the thing making it in, right? So I'll think of a thing like, I don't know, Roxas, right? And so on the far right, if it's over on the far right,
Big
it's like
first topic.
Roxas is definitely going to be. Actually, Roxas is later. Sorry, I should have said something else. Roxas is definitely going in. It's going to go all the way on the far right. If not, Roxas is going to go on the far left, right? And then there's the vertical axis of whether Roxas should appear in the series. So
Does he deserve it?
does he deserve it? That's
This
right.
is how I should have done my star rating series.
Well, here we are now. So yeah, we consider this two and we place it somewhere on the space. So I'm going to go through about just over a dozen different little elements that we might or might not make it into the Disney Plus series, and I'm going to give you my rating as to how likely it is to get in there and how deserving it is to get in there. So first one, we're going to start with somewhat innocuous but frequent entry in the Kingdom Hearts canon, actor James Woods. Now he is the voice actor behind Hades, and I will concede he does a very good performance as Hades, very iconic. But there's a couple of reasons I want to bring him up. One's kind of serious, one's a bit more frivolous, and the one serious one, I'll just get it out of the way. James Woods sucks. He's like a bad guy.
Yeah, big ass.
And he will claim that it's because, you see, I'm a conservative, so a bunch of liberals just want to smother conservatives like me and run me off on Twitter. And it's like, mate, actually, well, let's run through it. You spread conspiracy theories about stuff like Charlottesville. You boast about being indifferent to liberals, but you sue somebody for claiming in tweets that you're a rabid cocaine addict, which any normal person would just think is funny and laugh loud. And you lament the moral degradation of society, which at the time he was hanging that hat on the movie Call Me by Your Name. And then dates women like several decades younger than him. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Melting pot of really ideal things.
I don't know.
Yeah, and a great guy to give a Disney paycheck. So it would be nice to just deny it to him for once, because you got to understand, Hercules is the one property that has been represented in the series the most. It's only 100 Acre Wood is the runner-up, but by virtue of being Kingdom Hearts coded, Hercules is the most represented. And if you'd asked me when the series started what the most represented movie would be, I don't think my 10th guess would have been Hercules. So what I'm saying is, let's put James Wood on the back burner. Let's put Hercules on the back burner, and let's give this series a chance at a more distinct identity. So he's probably going to make it in because people love Hades, but he absolutely shouldn't. So it's rock bottom there on the vertical axis. So that's my reason.
Agreed 100%. I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. And I promise I'll let you discuss the others.
I'm just thinking about how upsetting it is, how accurate this plot is.
Yeah.
It's like, of course he is, because he's got to eat and no one else is going to hire him except for Disney because they don't give a shit.
No. So. And again, he'll claim that conservatives, we get such a rough trot, but it's like, no, you're just a bad guy.
I've got a quick question about the graph though. Is James Wood, where is he, or is it just in that quadrant?
So the little crown you see under James Wood's name, that's the dot.
Okay. Very good.
Sorry, I should have made that clear, but yeah.
No, it's okay.
The fancy graphics are going to go away when we move on to the next point.
Oh, I see. So we're going to have him there for posterity.
Dom's put some thought into this.
This is what I said. I hadn't looked through the slides, so this is my downfall.
Okay. You're good. So the next point, What is that? Okay, yeah. It's Star Wars and Marvel. Obvious question. Um, and really, I don't have as much to say here. They're just fiercely gate-kept universes. I don't think they should be in there because it's just a bit too much to take on, and in addition to Disney movies. And I don't think they're likely to, just because of the way that those properties are being handled right now. Again, fiercely gate-kept, too much going on. Let's just stick to the Disney movies. I don't know if you feel any different about that.
I would extremely dislike to see Sora meet Iron Man. I would very much dislike to see that. So
The only thing I'm partial to is a boss fight with Darth Vader. I would have been absolutely down for that, but
Yeah, before Rise of Skywalker, I would have said, please don't put it in Kingdom Hearts, and now I just don't give a shit. Please make like Goofy talk to like beat Darth
Yoda.
Vader in a fight. Yeah, Yoda. Make Goofy kill Yoda. Have a heartless version of Yoda doing backflips and stuff.
imagine Darth Vader drawing out his lightsaber and it's just Donald facing him, just alone in the room
I feel
with the staff and everything. You know?
I feel like there's only very few times where they actually are brave enough to do shit like that. And one of those being where Woody starts like screaming at fucking
young Xehanort, yeah. Like, I don't think you have a heart. Oh, okay.
There's
cool, man.
There's that. There's Goofy talking about Sephiroth. Like those little moments where it's like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is
my
why...
favorite is Sully chucking Vanitas in a in 3. That was the best. That was absolutely the best.
Yes, that is another one.
Because Vanitas is in the middle of like killing Sora. And it's like this games-long vendetta. Like this has been building up for such a long time. And Sully just quashes it there. It's so good. And they chuck doors and other doors and stuff. It's great.
It's the ending of. It's how they beat the villain in Monsters Inc.
Well, yeah, but it's a good repurposing. I think.
Yeah.
Just given the history there. The next one I know is close to your heart, Brendan. And you know, he said to me like, he said like, I know where I'd put Final Fantasy on this graph, but like I want to break Final Fantasy into like individual elements because I think some have a better chance of being represented than others.
Yeah.
And I think I had to address Soren because he's like the only Final Fantasy party member in the whole series. He's cool. He's great. Yeah. And he's completely inexplicable when he shows up. What he's doing, like, there's no real reason for him to be there where he is, but he's there and it's great. And to me, honestly, I just think as cool as it would be to have him in there, and you notice like he's quite high up the vertical axis. He's quite like I would like him to show up there, but it's very unlikely to me just because I can see them just sort of leaving it in the past, shelving it as like one of the more inexplicable elements of Kingdom Hearts that they're just going to shave out in the process of adapting and simplifying everything. So
I feel like Orange should go to as close to that left as possible.
Well, you are going to have a chance. Like, when this is all done, I'll have all the dots there without any graphics, and you can like move stuff around as to your liking. So feel free. Once we hit the end.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't remember what I was going to say. Bianca, you go.
I agree. I love Orin. He was a real highlight of Final Fantasy X. I just don't think they will get a PlayStation 2 character that hasn't been used for years. And when they were used, it was, like you said, completely inexplicable. He's just there. He's just there in Kingdom Hearts. And then he's not. I agree. I do think it needs to go further to the left. I personally want him the upper left corner. Like, actually, other way. I think my camera's going to be flipped. But yeah.
The next one I got down, another inexplicable element of the series, taps into like something that one did, but that nothing else did in the same way. So I've got Kurt Caesar there. Kurt Caesar, of course, being the secret boss in Agrabah. Which again, inexplicable. Magic carpets just hopping around outside the front gate and takes you there, and he fights you. He's impossibly hard. Well, maybe not as hard as Sephiroth, but still really hard to deal with. And again, just embodies that inexplicable spirit, but in a more original sense of this is just a heartless that is wandering around. and Kurt Caesar is a real person's name. And a guy called Kurt Caesar won a contest and got the right to be named after one of the hardest bosses. Like, got to name one of the hardest bosses in the game. All of which it's just going to be a piece of history and left behind. Like I said, same way as Auron. I don't know if you have any close feelings to any of the secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, Phantom, or any of those, but
I attempted to beat this boss so many fucking times and I can never do it. Jesus Christ. And it seems so, like, every time I was like, I know what I have to do, and just something would go wrong.
Yeah.
It's where I also learned, like, for endgame bosses, spamming Tinkerbell is super useful.
Oh. So yeah, like I played through one final mix before 3 came out. And Kurt Caesar was the first secret boss I ran into, and I was just like, I'm good. And so if you tell me Tinkerbell's the pro strat, I believe it.
Well, I couldn't.
And I'm delighted that Tinkerbell is a pro strat, just in general. That's just a funny thing to say.
Tinkerbell strat.
The Tinkerbell ladder is strong.
So
this is called Tinkerbell skip.
I've never done any secret boss. I don't think in any game, because I have never felt so inclined as to do them. I didn't even know they existed in Kingdom Hearts 1, to be honest. I finished the game and I was like, oi, I struggled with that because I'm terrible at action games and platforming from PlayStation 1. So
I will say that it's a unique experience to wander into the Olympus Coliseum and find Sephiroth there, and he just kills you immediately. That's an extremely good and unique experience.
It's extremely good to be killed
because keep in mind that you're a 14-year-old version of Sora. You're very short. Your voice isn't quite broken yet, and you just get slaughtered with Sephiroth with the music playing as well. The One Winged Angel theme. I think that's a special thing in a very morbid way.
I should say thanks for joining, Matt. Just so you know, we are talking about the upcoming Disney Plus Kingdom Hearts series, and Dom is going to go through what. You can see the plot. You can see the plot here. We're talking about various elements of Kingdom Hearts and what will and won't make it into the show. God damn it!
And what should and shouldn't make it in as well.
If only it was live action.
And they got Haley Joel Osment playing fucking Sora. Get in, yes. He plays Kyrie. It's someone famous as well, isn't it?
It was Hayden Panettiere. They've gotten Haley Bonner now, who's wasn't on Nashville. That's all I know. Yeah, so she doesn't do it anymore. Would have been nice if they got her back for 3, but.
Well, okay, real quick. Now that it's been brought up, what would live action Goofy and Donald and Mickey look like? Would they look like weird rat humans? Or would they look like would they look like
actual duck
wearing masks or something?
Like they're Monsters Inc. forms to the power of 10, just that kind of. Yeah.
I think just get people wearing suits, like.
Disneyland.
A person wearing a suit, or like a really mousy or ducky looking person that's got a weird nose or something, or a dog looking person, or like freaky talking dogs is the other option. Dogs and
or the movie Cats, but it's a dog and a duck and a mouse.
Yeah.
Or a sleep paralysis demon, as Pearly27 says in chat.
A sleep paralysis demon. That would be absolutely terrifying.
But it would be wearing a cool robe, so it would probably be hiding a lot of its grim visage.
I might get you to hop onto the next slide. The next thing I want to bring up, we've already talked about it a bit, so it's just gummy ships.
I thought this was lightning.
No, it's just a lightning gummy ship that someone posted on Reddit. Sorry. No, and gummy ships, it's just they serve a fine story function. Of just like how to get to world. So of course they're going to embrace it. And there's something iconic as well about the Highwind design in the top left there. It's just that hot dog colored ship. The canon version of the gummy ship.
You're right, but
it's just easy iconography. It's an easy call out to the fans. It serves a story purpose for everybody else. To me, it's a no-brainer. It should go in there, and it will. So that's an easy.
Does have to go in. I have to take the opportunity whenever we talk about a gummy ship, to show off the gummy ship that Mitch and I made in Kingdom Hearts 3. I saved a photo on my phone because I just like to look at it and laugh.
So
put a big crucifix next to it. It's got guns on it, It's all guns. It's all guns with one propeller.
Yes.
Doesn't go very fast, shoots a lot, and it's got a crucifix on there, just for aesthetics, you know. So only if
Beautiful.
that gummy ship makes it in. If my gummy ship makes it in, then I'll accept it.
Import your own gummy ship into the
Yeah.
show.
Or they just hold a contest to, like, you know, have people do free labor and just design the gummy ship for the series. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Capcom style. The next one, a bit more specific, but I just figured, you know, Marvel has this reputation. Star Wars got a bit of the reputation. The quickest way to any fan's heart is to just do a meta joke about the source material and how silly it is, and how we're just like you, the fans. And I think in this case, a meta joke about Donald and Goofy burning through potions during battle, which just it set Twitter alight, you know, and it would just instantly put the Disney Plus series into like the social media sphere. And they'd be very smug, but you know what? I'd be delighted by it. I just think it would speak straight to my heart, and it would make up for whatever other shortcomings I might encounter in making the series.
I would love that.
Oh, you go, Brendan.
Oh, I was going to say I would love that, and also he could try to, like, Sora would be screaming for help, and then Donald's just staring at him, not doing anything, and then Sora dies, and then he heals him after he's dead. That'd be really good.
Oh, give up!
Yeah. But after you go, Bianca, I just wanted to posit like what other meta jokes are in the fandom and whether they could be incorporated in the show somehow.
For sure. The other, whenever these sorts of meta things come up, I always think, like, before, when I'm not watching the show, like before I'm watching the show, I'm like, oh, come on, guys, we can do better than that. We don't need meta humor. Like, just do it. And then I see it in a show or a game or something, some sort of self-retro, and I always get a little. It always makes me smile. It always makes me smile, even when it's a little bit cringy and cheesy. But it always gets a laugh / smile out of me. So I'm all for it, even though, like, in as I sit there normally, I'd be like, no, you can do better. You don't need to do it. But whatever, I love it.
There's in I don't know why I'm thinking of this, in the Resident Evil Resistance multiplayer game that they put out. There's a guy called a character with the last name Sandwich, like Robert Sandwich or something, and that's in reference to a line in the PlayStation 1 Resident Evil 1 game where it's like, you could have been a Jill Sandwich. So they've turned bad localization into canon.
I'm pretty sure they referenced that in every Resident Evil game as well.
I'm sure they have. Like, the remakes are very good at just like making it all very slick and not lost in translation. So yeah, I feel like that's inevitably going to happen here, especially with Disney around.
Yeah.
The next slide I've got a bit of a cuter detail in the games that I think, again, kind of like the gummy ships, that's a no-brainer to put in the little logos at the start of every world.
Oh,
They're always so nice. And it's such an easy way to introduce every episode as well. Like, I'm assuming you do one world per episode. Maybe you like stretch it sometimes. But like, you just kind of roll out the red carpet for people, and it's like, now we're in Treasure Planet or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm happy to be here, you know? It's just, it was always super nice. And it was just one of the few, throughout the entire series, the one objectively good thing in every single one. Yeah. So
every episode can be called like episode 3.8/2 Redux.
Divided by 5,643.
That'll be another passing meta joke. Someone will be like, I named this thing episode 3.8. It's like, that's a lot of numbers.
Oh my god, oh my god. I just remembered how they did Kingdom Hearts 2.9 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Fuck off. Fuck off. No, I hated that so much.
See, like, I was hoping, you know, 1 had Destiny Islands, 2 had Twilight Town, and I thought, well, you know, maybe 3 will have another interesting take on the prologue, you know? They'll have an interesting spin on it all. And it's like, no, you just go to Olympus. You just go to Hercules World again.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
It was like one of the best looking areas in that game too, which they obviously wanted to front load at the start.
That's fair, yeah.
And then by the time you get to Frozen World, it's just, here's an ice world a default ice world we found in the Unreal Engine.
It does peter out as it goes. I think that's fair to say, yeah. The next dot I've got the Traverse Town crew. So again, touching on Final Fantasy, and again, I got to concede that I don't think it's terribly likely. I feel like Donald and Goofy and just the various Disney characters would serve that same function of like bringing Sora into the world. So I don't think there's too much to say there, but I do want to say that that is a real frame from the Kingdom Hearts 1 manga. That is absolutely what something that Sid does to get rid of Heartless. The T posing squall, I just put that in there myself.
Damn, I wish that was in there. Interesting. I don't. Have you mentioned? There's a few crews. I think you're right. I think the Traverse Town crew. They weren't even in Kingdom Hearts 3, but I think maybe what are they called? The Twilight Town crew. Did you say that?
So, like, we meet them in Traverse Town in 1, and I'm talking about Squall. He's called Leon for some reason.
Yeah, I only know him as Leon.
Oh yeah,
Aerith,
yeah.
Sid and Moogles, yeah, and then Merlin and the Fairy Godmother are there as well. And then they all relocate to Radiant Garden in the second game, and then I think they just kind of hang out there.
Yeah, they hang out somewhere. But no, the Twilight Town crew. I can't remember what their names are.
One of them is
Hayden.
Hayden, Pence, and Olette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden, of course, being the guy with the slick back hair, goes sweet at one point, which is
sweet.
Yeah, I think they could be there.
When he tries to
Hayden, not Hayden.
Hayden, yes,
Hayden.
and he does a fly kick to who's the guy who tries to assault in the third game? I think it's like Xemnas or somebody, or Ansem Secret Darkness. One of them.
I'm not sure.
Axel, right?
No, I don't think it's Axel. I think it's one of the Ansems. Anyway, it was part of like a lore dump that I just could not digest. Anything involving those characters, I just could not get behind. Even the prologue in 2, I was just never a fan of. So, yeah, they might. Oh, God. Yeah, I haven't quite thought about the Twilight Town crew in the same way as the Traverse Town crew. Because, again, I'm just focusing on one.
I think people probably do, though. Like, I know people do. They definitely do. And they're wrong to do so. Because fuck that prologue. People love that prologue.
Yeah, I'm not about that prologue either. I'm really not.
People think
you
it's
need
the
to
best
play
part
358 over 2 days for it to have any weight at all.
And
there's one DS game that's just anyway.
The only thing that I would, and we can get to it when we are allowed to edit the slides, but just because Aerith is there and her name is now Aerith, I guess. Because the timing of Final Fantasy VII Remake and the fact that there will be another Final Fantasy VII Remake disc on offer, I feel like they're gonna wanna use her because of the fact that millions of people bought Final Fantasy VII Remake. That would be the thing that for me would tip it from the won't to the will make it in.
Sure.
It's just Aerith. Just Aerith.
The FF7 remake.
Yeah, and just trying to get in on that because it will be. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to make a TV show because I don't know anything about this, but I also know that it takes a fucking long time to make a video game. I don't think Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.0 whatever is coming out like soon. They're still working on it, right? So
it'll probably be out soon after the series. Yeah.
I know as a frame of reference, it takes 9 months for an episode of The Simpsons to get made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long. There you go.
Yeah.
But I guess that makes sense.
I just wonder how it works with a limited series like Disney Plus. They'll inevitably do. They're not going to do like 26 episodes like an NCIS season, and they're not going to mass produce it exactly. So
I was just thinking that. I think that's a really good point, Bianca, and I think you're very right. But what if they're like, here's the Traverse Town crew. We've got Aerith, Sid, Yuffie, Jesse, Cloud.
Pigs and Wedge. Barrett.
Favorite members of the Traverse Town crew.
And no other person. There's definitely no one that we forgot to mention.
Donald Duck, Barrett.
Yeah.
You're done.
And we definitely didn't lose all the master files for Final Fantasy VIII by accident.
I might. We've gone through a lot of time. I've realized, so I might.
Oh, it's fine. We can go for as long as.
Yeah, we can
as
go
we-
over.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I didn't know how attached to the hour-long slot you are.
No,
The next one is another simple one. Disney characters casting Final Fantasy spells. No, like
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, as I said, Final
Oh my
Fantasy,
God.
super involved Final Fantasy references are like I don't think a lot of the characters are going to make it in and be an essential part of the plot in the same way as like 2, for instance. But you want Mickey and Donald doing cool spells anyway, because anyone can get behind that. Yeah, you want them to do that, so you might as well give it a Final Fantasy spell, and again, just sort of prod fans and get them talking, and make them try and draw links that aren't there. And yeah, I think that's just a no-brainer as well, and I just think it would be cool because it was cool in the games.
I think you'd be like, if anything, the argument would have to be made for why they wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Given that Donald is a magician, like, yeah.
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 Also, I'm just remembering that fucking scene in Kingdom Hearts 3. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was so full on. Fuck me.
Oh yeah,
That entire last
that
act,
entire
anyway.
sequence, yeah, and like the Kingdom Hearts key shout out with all like the player users and avatars, and it's just like this is such a small portion of the audience that this is speaking to, but they're just going for it. The series is wild. Like
Wild.
that's partly why I'm still talking. Like I was keen to talk about it still. It's just they'll do shit like that. And just something weird about it.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. Like none of the games end conclusively. And
3 doesn't, which shits me.
well, I mean, fuck, spoilers, whatever. Kyrie fucking dies at the end. They gotta resolve that. And also, there's that cliffhanger bonus scene at the end with what's his name, Zigbar.
He's already half Xehanort.
Yeah, he's already fucking half
Xehanort. Like I got that secret ending. I did all the criteria and whatnot, and I was just like, I don't care about this guy. I don't care about these animal people from the back cover cutscene in 2.8. I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I didn't even do all the work though. I just went and watched it online because I knew that I wasn't going to go back and play that game. I get it.
And that's fair,
but
honestly.
then I was like, I had the same thing. I was like, isn't he like just one of the dudes who doesn't even get that much screen time? I get more about Axel, like, you know.
No. Yeah, it's it's an obvious retcon, and I hate it, and I'm really not about it. The next one, a bit more pointed, Tetsuya Nomura's creative involvement. This, I think, is going to be like a major reason as to why it's either as good as it is or as bad as it is. Because if they're asking Square Enix to do the pilot, it's safe to say he's in the room at some point, and it's safe to say he's going to like ask for something to be done, like particular choices to be made with this series that he's been directing for the last 20 years or close to it. I think it's quite likely. I really wish he wouldn't. It's better, like a lot of like what people bemoan about the series, like even if it's just the dress sense or just the overly complicated mythology or what have you, you can pretty much chalk it up to him. Really, you can.
Yeah.
It's just it's
I prefer Kingdom Hearts 4.
The thing it's funny we're talking about this now because literally in the last week I had a reasonably long discussion with Mitch because I asked her, I was like, do you think Tetsuya Nomura is good at his job? Like, is he good? Because I don't know. I feel like he had a couple of real fucking good games and then but then why were they good? Were they good because of him? I don't know that they were. I feel like he's got a very clear style when it comes to character design. It is easy to identify a Tetsuya Nomura character. You can spot them a mile away.
I'm looking up a photo of him wearing shorts. Hang on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had that saved on my computer, but I thought the head would just suffice.
Oh my god.
But
yeah, that's the remake reveal too. That's like a full-on worldwide press conference. And he's just
there's a bit of a recurring theme in the projects that he's involved in, and especially just I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 3, I got the sense that he was given complete creative control, and that's what he served up, and it wasn't. I didn't care for it.
The other thing too, I think like the whole Final Fantasy 13 saga, like them trying to turn it into Fabula Nova Crystallis and falling on their face and not doing HD development well, I think that effectively kneecapped any ability for Kingdom Hearts to be continued in a consistent fashion. So they just told him, "Can you make a bunch of side stories for portable systems? Is that possible? Can you do that?" And he did his best, but he did it in a way only he does. And so we have the end result of just the series. Yeah, okay.
Look at
Now
this
the
motherfucker.
stream's just updated for me, so now I'm looking at.
Look at this
I have to look-
motherfucker.
There's 3/4 pants too. Not even short.
I have.
Oh,
What
there's
is this?
glitter on them. There's glitter on them, just a little bit though.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I have a lot to say about these topics. As you brought up, everything that happened from like the dark years for Square Enix really took a toll on a lot of us, but mostly Tetsuya Nomura. He had a really bad, like jilted relationship with Square Enix after a lot of stuff happened with them fucking around with Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 at the same time. And so I can tell you that neither of those were his vision in full. The director of Final Fantasy 15, like I think it swapped halfway through.
Yeah.
And then Kingdom Hearts 3, there was, as we all know, a lot of fucking delays.
Yeah.
And shit like
then they had to change engines and just get to Unreal to finish it all.
If you want to know if Tetsuya Nomura is good at his job, look at his character designs, because he's a character designer.
Yeah, his illustrations are great.
Yeah,
I will say that.
That's
Like,
the thing
the stuff he
that
did
shines
for
through.
of Final Fantasy characters are so good.
Yeah, I have no personal attachment to Tetsuya Nomura. Not the reason why I'm defending him, but I think he needs to be defended in this case because Square Enix did a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
They've turned it around a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I went like. The character design, it's so I love that it's so singularly clear that what he wants to do every time, and he just does it to great effect every time.
Yeah.
But like in the games that I play of his, I didn't love them a lot. Didn't love a lot of them. So.
Yeah. And I just think nothing else. He could just stay in his lane. You know, it's a series. It's a full-on high production series. And I know Square's done movies based on their games, but they're not generally not that good.
Are you talking shit about Kingsglaive?
Oh man.
The next slide is.
Oh, let's do a commentary for that. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, let's actually. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
I'd listen. One of the to me, like in the next point is like an iconic to me, like what I think of when I think about all the ridiculous mythology that the series has just accrued over the years is just not only the Riku replica as a character, who I ended up quite endeared to despite everything, but just the idea of clones in general. Like you already have nobodies, which are a weird concept to digest already. Like you become a Heartless, you come back, and in the process you make a nobody. If the nobody and the Heartless meet, they form a full person again. So it's not like dying at all, but it's just like all these rules. In addition to that, you have artificial humans being made. So you have two different kinds of artificial life just sort of questioning themselves and acting on their own interests. And I just feel like clones are just a bridge too far. And it's just, and from a series standpoint, you just want, it's like, you think about the executives looking at all this stuff in the writer's room and just being like, can we just have one of these? Can we just do that? Can we just try it?
I just feel like it's going to come down to, are they going to make a like a Disney multiverse series with Sora, Donald, and Goofy in it as the protagonists, or are they going to actually make a Kingdom Hearts series? Because that's kind of like what it's going to come down to. The Disney characters will be in there. They're going to have different worlds. They're going to go to the different worlds. Sora will be there. Donald and Goofy will be there. I feel like anything beyond that is probably up for grabs. As much as I would like to say, no, it's a staple. It must stay in there. But that's what I mean. Like, will they make a Kingdom Hearts series, or will they just make a Sora series?
Yeah. And if they have to choose between one of the two to adapt out of clones and nobody, like they'll go for nobodies. That's the one that's like.
Yeah, they need to get Axel in there somehow.
Yeah. Axel's got to be in there, and as much as like I said, like Riku replicas again. We're talking about great moments in Kingdom Hearts 3. Up there with Sully taking on Vanitas is Riku replica redeeming himself.
And also when they put bugs in him.
They put what?
They put bugs in him.
Bugs.
It's a quote from some fucking Kingdom Hearts. Oh no, I think they're talking about Data Riku.
Data.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a whole other
Sorry,
thing.
that's a different Riku. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Phil,
it's a
okay.
third Riku. A
Is
third.
Tron in here? Is Tron on your chart?
It's not on the chart. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bruce Boxlight is too old for it. Let's just not even. Anyway. After clones, what have I got here? Okay, similar reasoning. Castle Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where I think Chain of Memories is where the troubles started with the series. It's just like the rules of the place, how it
The
operates.
trouble
So it's,
started with the second game in the series, and that's so true.
it was this. It was a side game, you know, the first of many, and they introduced all these annoying characters that you had to know about for two to make any sense.
The first sequel,
Um,
they fucked it
Yeah.
yeah,
because
and
it's
they
a
called it
side.
it's like a side call at the time,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's a side game
Um,
on the GBA. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
And all that aside, Castle Oblivion just is just boring. Just being inside of it is just it's a boring place to be, and it doesn't really like represent what it's meant to mean to the characters. And I know like the twist about what it actually is in three is meant to be like cool, but mostly I'm just relieved that it's just done with because it's not even clear where it is. That's the other thing that annoys me about it. It's not even clear like where in space like what part of space Oblivion occupies.
Mm.
And I know it's like the base of operations, but again, it's just like in relation to Twilight Town and the data version of Twilight Town, it's always been vague and ephemeral, and I'd be really glad to just not have it show up anywhere in the series. So
The thing that confused me, and it confused me to the point that I just quickly googled it because I wasn't sure, is whether this Castle Oblivion is the same place when it's the world that never was. Because I get them confused in my head when I think about it. Because they're both
right.
castles in these weird lands that, exactly as you say, they don't. It's very unclear where they are, and I wasn't sure if they were the same thing, and I had to quickly Google it and check.
Technically, Castle Oblivion is attached to the end of the world from Kingdom Hearts One, because they beat Ansem in that game, and then they're wandering through a field, and then they happen across Castle Oblivion, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
are they attached? Is it just further right on the map screen in Kingdom Hearts One? What's going on? I don't. Yeah. So yeah,
I really feel like I need to play Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep's all right. I reckon the best spin-off game is Dream Drop Distance. It's got entirely new worlds. You know, no recycled content. You play as Riku for a substantial amount of it, which is novel.
The only reason that I want to play any of the other games at this point is just to clear up my understanding of the series.
Yeah. And in that case, like, I don't know, watch a cutscene pack or something. Because
'Cause-
Square Enix
Yeah,
have made
the thing,
cutscene packs out of their game, so it's
Yeah,
like
no one dies.
it's on, you know?
I know there's no stakes until Kingdom Hearts 3. So
It's fair to say. The one after that, oh yeah, Princesses of Light. You know, that old MacGuffin from the first game that they never touched again. Which is like, I like the idea, like, because they've got that thing, the world order, right, where all the worlds are cordoned off nicely, and no character, you know, Jack Skeleton can't go hang out with Jack Sparrow. You know, that can never happen for some arbitrary reason. And it's like, all right, fine, Disney, like whatever. But the princesses are a nice way of circumventing all that, where you can get characters from different movies interacting with one another. So it would be nice and for them to bring it back. And I think it's likely just because the Disney princess brand carries a lot of weight. I just, yeah, I just don't know if like they would. They serve, like I said, they serve as a MacGuffin, right? You got the 7 princesses lined up, which include Kyrie and Alice for some reason, so I had to crop them into that picture. And they just sort of serve their function and go, you know. And there's that odd bit towards the end of Hollow Bastion in the first game where they're just wandering around, and you can talk to them, but they got nothing to say. And
I love that bit.
Oh, mate, I was just about to say.
I didn't like that you could talk to them.
Yeah.
Because they spent the whole game doing shit about the Princesses of Light, and there they are. And you're right, they don't have much to say. At least they were there.
The one
They showed
bit,
up.
the thing I would much prefer, you know, that cutscene when they first leave Traverse Town and all the villains are around a round table and making fun of each other. That's what I want. I want that energy. I want them taking the piss out of each other and stuff, and like actually interacting.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've done that. You know, people. That's an understood mainstream appeal thing with Avengers and Marvel stuff already. So it's like, I just wish they'd do that instead. You know.
I think it's Lindsay Ellis. Might be someone else, but there's there's some video about Disney how they love being self-referential now. Like they really, really love playing on the tropes of Disney princesses. So I think
Wreck-It Ralph 2 was so blatant. Like that picture's from Wreck-It Ralph 2. So
I was trying to remember which movie it was from.
yeah. So like they've turned that corner for sure, and I want to believe that they will do that to in some degree. Just not. I just don't want them to do it in the same way as the first game. You know?
Oh,
So
this is too much of a tangent to go on. But like, I want. Who's the other? Oh, DreamWorks. I want like DreamWorks to have a crossover with like.
Put Princess Fiona in Kingdom Hearts.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of like what's a off-brand Final Fantasy.
Off-brand Final Fantasy, like Chocobo racing, like
No,
the kart racing.
no, not like a side game. I mean like a similar sort of energy.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I was going to say Dragon Quest. Maybe like something more recent. It makes me think Bravely Default just because it's very.
The World Ends With You is in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah,
true.
These are all. Persona. Let's say
Okay.
Persona. Persona crossed with DreamWorks.
Okay.
Think about that.
So just an answer to Kingdom Hearts, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
I think Dragon Quest is the correct answer, but I just don't know enough about Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, I don't think lends itself to like epic stories in the same way as like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is just up its own butt, whereas Dragon Quest is like taking it easy. Just doing
Yeah.
a fantasy adventure. The main character never talks. It's that kind of thing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree. That'd be funny.
Cool.
The next point I've got, you guys mentioned it in early discussions. And I think this is a no-brainer. Again, not much to say. Shop for Shop remakes. Yeah. And not to mention Little Mermaid songs and Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, so they were doing it back then as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put them in.
Will they do the thing that they did? Not that I ever did it, but I heard that it happened. That you were watching like Black Mirror or something, you had to pick an option on the screen, something on your phone to pick. Do that, but you have to fucking play the song like you did. You have to play the
in Atlantis.
Yes. You can only finish the episode if you can do the
my god
typing on the thing on your phone.
Yes.
Then they will have successfully translated the Kingdom Hearts experience into television show form.
This is what I call new media.
Make it interactive.
This is the future that video games was leading to.
I hate it. I don't want it. I put it in the bottom left for a reason. Stop it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Let It Go was in there. I do love that song.
Let It Go or Swim This Way? What are you talking about?
No, Let It Go.
Oh yeah.
Not Swim This Way. Fuck.
Swim This Way. You don't know what Swim This Way is?
Is that Swim the song that's in Kingdom Hearts? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and made for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And it shows. And speaking of good songs from Kingdom Hearts, speaking of songs that should have a chance of getting in, simple and clean, a bop.
Sorry.
You can hear it in your heads immediately, and it's an easy nostalgia callback to make. Again, though, I feel like it would be it's a no-brainer, but it's a no-brainer to the point of being not terribly imaginative in my view. And I think if they somehow found their own way to make a musical identity for themselves that wasn't attached to Utada Hikaru, as talented as she is, not taking anything away from Utada Hikaru, but if they find a way to like get a theme and a musical motif that's like their own thing, then that I think will make the adaptation sing best, you know?
Yeah,
that's all.
I sort of expect her to do a new theme. I don't think Simple and Clean will be there. As much that was just the opening. Every single episode just opens with that. I would be in love.
The other thing, playing through all the old games. When I got done with 2.8, I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna have to hear Simple and Clean ever again. This is amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because you hear it on 2.8 as well, like the Dream Drop Distance return. It's it just because I think. Yeah, they got a Birth by Sleep prequel in there, so that's the logic there, right?
I didn't realize that they brought the song back at all. I thought it was only in the first game.
No,
This is what happens when you
it
don't play
depend
all the side games, Brendan. You don't get all the content. You don't have all the knowledge.
depending on where
Yeah, I
in
didn't
the
get to hear
ring.
the same song that's in the first game.
Well, either Simple and Clean or the Planet B remix, which plays opens the first game, which is also a bop, but like
Oh,
yeah, again.
that's the one. When I think of Simple and Clean, I think of that one. But
Mm.
both versions good. Both versions good.
I'll just say I think like it would be cool if they did something different, but I feel like having Utada Hikaru sing the song is up there with like having Sora and Kairi and Riku. Like it's in for me at least because like it's the very first thing you hear is that song, and then you know you like the bit up the game, hear the song, and when like fucking when the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer came out and I heard the new song, I was hyped as hell. I was so hyped.
It was
Such a
a
good
really
song.
good,
Kept listening.
a really good pair of songs.
Yeah.
I think Face My Fears was also really good, and
Yeah.
I will always remember. Like I didn't hear Face My Fears until I played the game,
Yep.
and yeah,
Oh, shit, there's
yeah,
some Russian.
yeah. Like what?
In the
Yeah,
chat.
it's just there's so many good songs that they have made for Kingdom Hearts over the years, and it's clearly a pairing that works well. I hope that they actually hope that they use her for a new song though.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I've said like I would prefer their own identity, but I get that argument as well.
Fuck Face My
So,
Fears is good. There's a male cover of it that I listen to a lot, but I like listening to the original version as well. Damn, I was spinning that a lot when that song came out.
yeah. No, I remember pumping the volume when I started 3, and yeah, that song won't leave my head for that reason. It's good. And the last point I want to put on before you can go hog wild and just reallocate points as you like.
I'm not going
I
to.
mentioned them earlier. Well, yeah, you can if you want. But like I mentioned him earlier, everyone's sweet nobody boy, Roxas. Yeah, completely accurate to how he is in the second game, I believe. So
Does
the
anyone here
question,
have strong feelings about Roxas?
I really like Roxas. I didn't though for a long time. Had to come around. Took some time to come around.
that's me as well. And
But
part of what helped was watching the cutscene re-edit of 358 over 2 days. That
100.
I
story,
watched that. Yeah, I watched that.
yeah, that lens that has like heart. Yeah, like
Yeah.
again, sorry for the pun, but it's true. Um, like the story of him, Jean, and Axel is really involving. It's the most involving the series has ever been. Like I feel like from that point onward, Sora was just
It's the most
playing the role
character
of happy
development.
guy. Riku is playing the role of serious guy who's along for the ride and kind of redeemed himself. Kari is there, and
It's
I
because
feel
there's
like
character development.
that's it. There's character
Yeah.
development, right?
You definitely
Yeah, and so like I feel so I've said that he should make it in. I feel like he is just the one time when the weirdness and particularity of Kingdom Hearts like culminated. Like it reached its peak when that had 358 over 2 days plus the content of Kingdom Hearts 2. Like just it built that story about Roxas and just how kind of sad and unfortunate it is like that he was born the way he was and tossed around the way he was by the villains of the series. Um, but yeah, I just don't rate his chances of getting in. I can see the writers just looking at it and going, man, this is too hard. We've got like a bunch of crossovers to plan. Let's just put this guy on the back burner. Like the fans will constantly ask us for it. I mean, ever since like I remember looking at the magazine scans on KH Insider, seeing shots of Roxas, but you couldn't see his face and he didn't have a name. And so people had to be like, well, who is he? Is he Titus from Final Fantasy 10? Who is he? And I remember the acronym was BHK, Blonde Head Kid. That was like how people referred to him up until they revealed it was Roxas. And people were like, oh, yeah, Sora's nobody. Okay. So yeah, like, yeah, I just have he's the one thing I'm the most emotionally attached to from the series. And I just think they're going to find him too hard to put in there.
I think that if he makes it in, which I actually think he will, only because he's as tied to Sora, who is going to be in there. It would be though as a bit of like in the very last episode, like just cut to Twilight Town, or like, you know, you just see him there, and then it's supposed to be like, who's this guy? Maybe we'll find out next season. Like,
that is the secret ending of Chain of Memories, the Game Boy game.
oh really? I
You
didn't know that.
see, they just show a shot of him on the bell tower, like opening a door, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's how they tease Kingdom Hearts 2, basically. Yeah.
Boy, when I saw that fucking fight with Roxas in, I can't remember what it is. Oh, but
So he's fighting Axel with 2 Keyblades?
Yeah.
Is that what you...
Boy, when I saw that, I flipped my shit.
And they were still hiding his face at that point,
Yeah.
which is weird. Yeah, but so people were like, "Whoa, he has 2 Keyblades!" Yeah, that was a new thing. And then they just gave you a drive form into they let you do that. So.
Anyway, I appreciate that Roxas has Bayonetta legs here. Not quite sure why, but still appreciated.
Someone did that fan art, and well,
okay.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Bayonetta rules. You know this.
Put Bayonetta in Kingdom Hearts TV.
Isn't Smash Brothers? How hard could it be?
You have to now.
You fucking coward.
Bayonetta is a children's character.
She's like the friendly witch, like the good witch of the north or whatever. Bayonetta, the good witch.
Put her and Maleficent in a room together. Just do it. It's fine.
Oh, yes.
Writes itself.
Yeah.
Bayonetta is my favorite Disney princess.
So those are all my points. Yeah, and the next slide just has them all in as they are. If you want to rearrange them, that's cool. But if not,
I'm not going to miss it. I will remove this because No, I'll remove this.
Before we do anything, I just want to say thank you, Dom, for putting this together. This is an awesome idea. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Thanks. I had fun, and I hope you did too.
Good thinking.
But yeah, I think for the most part, I do agree. I think the things where I'm a little bit more bullish is that I think they will use Utada Hikaru to do a theme song. I think Roxas will make it in. And for the shot-for-shot remakes of Disney songs, I don't know. I hope that they're not, but there's just something in the back of my mind. I'm like, but maybe they would.
They've done it already.
Blair's done it already, though. Like Disney would be like, we just want them to watch the movie, man.
Yeah, that genie's been uncorked. So I don't know if they. I don't know. That's a maybe for me. I'm leaving it as a plausible option. But for the most part, I do agree with pretty much everything you've put down.
Yeah.
Cool.
I already let all my plots be known. I'm super tired, so we can wrap this up. Hell
yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and if anyone stuck around from early stream, thank you. Hope you enjoyed as well. I don't know what we're going to do next week, or throughout the week we'll have more other streams, but yeah, we'll figure that out.
There's one that we have to do. I can't remember if you mentioned it on the last one. Oh, we did. Yep. The EV debate about whether EV should have replaced.
Oh, yes. Yeah, let's do that next week. Yeah. Let's do that next week.
All right.
The other thing I also want to float is, and I mentioned it to you, Brendan, is streaming one of either Okami or Knights of the Old Republic 1/2, because you can't do one without playing 2, I think. I don't know which people would be more interested in watching. I could do either because they're both on PC, although that would require me buying Okami for a third time, but that's okay, I'll do it because I love that game.
I think I have it on PS4 and Switch and I haven't played it.
Yeah, I have it on Wii and PS4, and I don't know. I almost bought it on Switch, and I was like, "Control yourself, Bianchi. You don't need to buy 3 copies of the game."
Or you can buy an Elgato, and then you can capture PS4 games.
I could do that. I should do that. Honestly, I should get an Elgato because I know you've got one, Brendan. I want to be able to put my Switch, because I got my Switch dock on my desk, so it would work really well. But yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. So let me know if anyone has a strong burning desire for one or the other. Let me know.
I've bounced off Nights, so like I would love to see you play through it. That'd be awesome, actually.
Oh, excellent. I'm hoping that I
also bounced off it twice.
Okay, good, because I haven't. I've played it many, many, many times. So
I would honestly be down for KOTOR.
I love and I kind of realized this watching you guys play through Final Fantasy X. I love when someone who knows a game really well plays through and shows someone who doesn't know it very well.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a fun dynamic. So
It's fun for everyone that way.
Everyone has
you get
fun.
the best of both worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right.
Well, let's wrap things up. Thank you again, Dom, and thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you later on.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.